Hello friends, welcome to my channel Information Technology, and this is my first video which is on the topic queue data structure. I hope you will enjoy it. Queue. What's a queue? Queue is an abstract data type or linear data structure. So what is this linear data structure? Linear data structure are those structures which exhibit the property of adjacency between the elements. That is, if we know the position of an element, we can also know the position of the previous element or also know the position of the next element. Okay, so queue is the linear data structure in which the process of insertion takes place from one side, that is rear, while the process of deletion takes place from another side, which is front. Rear is also called as tail and front can also be called as head. Okay, so queue works under the principle of FIFO. What is FIFO? FIFO means first in, first out. We can also implement this in our real world. That means we can see through our real-time application also. Suppose you are standing in a queue to buy the tickets of a cricket or football or hockey match. So the person who is standing in the first will definitely get the ticket first and then he will exit from the queue. Then the person who is standing just behind him will come front, he will get the ticket and then he will exit from the queue. So this way the data also works in the computer. The data or the element which is inserted first will be treated first and will be removed first. So that is known as the first in, first out. We can also call it as first come, first served, FCFS. Okay, so the process to add an element into the queue is called as NQ, that is, it takes place from the rear side, and the position to remove an element from the queue is called as DQ, which takes place from the front side. So as you can see here, I have taken a queue of size 4, lower bound is 0 and upper bound is 3. Here NQ is taking place from the rear side and DQ will take place from the front side. Here you can write front this side and rear this side also. There is no issue in that. Now we will see some applications of the linear queue. So serving requests on a single shared resources like a printer, then task scheduling in CPU, and then in real life scenario also, if you call, you have seen that you might be seeing that when you call to a customer care, that they keep your phone sometimes in, they keep your call sometimes in hold until the representative is free to talk, so that we can take a real-time application. Then handling of interrupts in real-time systems, that is, the interrupts are handled in the same order as they arrive, that is first come first serve basis. Okay, so these were certain minor applications of the linear queue. Now the most important thing which we will see about the linear queue is about the algorithms. What's the algorithm? Algorithm is a step-by-step logical procedure. So we will see the procedure to insert an element into the queue. Okay, so we will see here about how to insert an element into the queue. So see, first of all we are writing the step if queue rear equals to max minus 1. Then it means that suppose we have taken the size of 4. So our lower bound is 0 and upper bound is 3. So suppose our rear is present, rear pointer is present in the means 0, 1, 2, 3, third number index position. That means our queue is already full. And inside the full queue, if we want to insert more element, then it will print as overflow condition. Then in the second condition, suppose this condition becomes false. So in the second condition, it will check that whether our queue front and queue rear is pointing to minus 1. That means front and rear pointer are pointing to minus 1. That means our queue is totally empty. So when we are inserting one element into the queue, that will be automatically the first element. So queue front and queue rear will point to 0 index position. Okay. After that, suppose this condition also becomes false. Then this condition will be executed. So here queue rear equals to queue rear plus 1 statement means that our rear pointer will increment by 1 position, and then to that particular position or location where the rear pointer is pointing, there the value will be inserted, that is queue rear is equal to value. Okay. See, I have taken here one queue, insert 10. Okay. So now earlier our front was minus 1 and rear was minus 1. I am representing front as F and rear as R. So now I inserted 10. So now my front is equal to 0, rear is equal to 0. This condition becomes false because there was no element present initially in our queue. And so this executed, and then front -1, rear -1. So 10 was inserted and front is equal to 0, rear is equal to 0. Okay. After that, now 10 is present in the index position. So now again it will check. Now our if condition again it will check. So it becomes again false. Second condition also it will check that whether our front is at -1, rear is at -1. No, because both front and rear are now pointing to 0 index position only. So this condition also becomes false. So this will be checked. So now here the rear is incremented by 1 position, and now rear is present over here, and then 20 is inserted. Okay, and then here again 10, here again 20. This is front, this is rear. Again this both condition becomes false, so it will be executed. Rear is incremented by 1 position, and here 30 is inserted. Okay, after that again it will be checked. Again these both conditions becomes false. So here 10, 20, 20, 30, and then here 40. So here it will be your front, and here it will be our rear. Okay, so here now front is pointing to 0th index position and the rear is pointing to 3rd index position. In between 20 and 30 are present respectively at 1st and 2nd index position. Okay, so now this was about your NQ operation. This was about NQ operation. Now we have about the DQ operation. Okay, DQ also, see, I have taken that same EQ only, 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, so here front and here rear. So first it will check that whether our front pointer is pointing to -1. That means whether our Q is empty or not. No, our front is not pointing to -1. It is pointing to 0. That means elements are present in the Q, so that we can call DQ function. Okay. So we know that whenever in linear Q the DQ function will be called, then automatically the first element will only be deleted. Okay, so here DQ is called for the first time and 10 is deleted and the front is incremented by 1 position. Okay, and here is present over here only. Then again DQ will be called, then here 20 will be removed, and then front will be incremented by 1 position. Then again DQ will be called, again 30 will be deleted, and then front is incrementing by 1 position. Now there is a catch. Okay, see, now rear and pointer are pointing to the same position. So where this cycle will go on, after that when this both will become equal to 1 position, this will be executed. Q front now, that is Q front equals to Q rear. Both of them are pointing to 3rd index position. So here 40 will be deleted and Q front is now becomes -1. Q rear now becomes -1. So now our Q is totally empty. So now again if we call the DQ function, then what will happen? Then it will give us the underflow condition. That is, we can't delete any element. When no element is present, how can we delete? Okay, so this is about the DQ function. So these are 2 essential portions of the linear Q. One thing linear Q is that we can't insert a new element into the linear Q unless and until it is again reset to 0. So that is one drawback of linear Q. That's why it is used only for the single shared resources. Okay. So thank you, and I hope that you enjoy this video, and soon we will come with I will come with the next video. So keep supporting and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.